are impacted with some really heavy rainfall, and there's obviously going to be a lot of wind mixed in here as well. We'll put back on our velocity scope, which shows us winds going to and from the radar, and as we kind of search around here, it looks like it's probably in far western portions of Brown County now that we have a little bit of rotation. It's not quite as defined as it was in Monroe County, but maybe this area right in here, I'll circle this area right in here, might be where we have some rotation. But as Kyle mentioned, these storms go through cycles, so they may weaken a little bit and then they kind of re-strengthen themselves. So even though I just talked about the rotation looking a little weaker than it did in the Bloomington area, likely going to continue to strengthen once again at some point here as it moves towards Nashville. So here's Nashville. There's the road up north as you work your way towards Bean Blossom in the Bill Monroe music grounds there. You definitely need to be in your safe place. Obviously, this time of year, it's February. There's probably not a lot of camping taking place here in Brown County, so that is certainly good news. But I'm sure if there are people in the state park, they've been alerted by DNR about this. But the heart of this storm system is now going to be approaching Nashville and making its way here through Brown County, eventually over towards the eastern side of the county and eventually into Bartholomew County here as well. A little bit of a closer look here. 135 is the state road there from Nashville all the way up into portions of southern Morgan County and kind of right there on the Morgan-Johnson County line. This is where the worst of the storm is now making its way through the area. So from just west of Nashville here, north up through Bean Blossom towards the Trafalgar area, you definitely need to be in your safe spot. You notice the radar here when some of these twisty roads through the hills of Brown County there starting to get into the heavy rainfall as well. But our main concern again is going to be the rotation with this system as it makes its way through Brown County and then eventually here all the way into Bartholomew County. Columbus, you are included in the tornado warning that will go here for a little while longer. Bloomington, you are now out of the threat of any circulation there or tornado. You're technically still parts of it under the warning, but the storm has cleared your area, and for the most part it is cleared Monroe. For those of you that may be a little concerned up towards the Ellettsville area back towards Spencer, you do see the rainfall here, but none of that is currently severe. I'll put the map into motion and you can see that how the storm is moving, and it's kind of miraculous, or not miraculous, but what I was trying to say, can't think of the right word, how well it's maintained its ball-like shape across the many miles that it's traveled here out of Greene County through Monroe County. I guess characteristic of the storm is the best way to put it. So it's moving through Nashville. It's picked up some speed, as Kyle told you, moving at about 45 miles per hour right now, and that's eventually going to take it here. It looks like the worst of it may pass just north of Columbus. I don't want you to think you're out of the woods though in Columbus. That's certainly not the case here because you're under the tornado warning, but definitely downtown Nashville right now is seeing the brunt of this storm system, and as the National Weather Service said, in the Bloomington area this was a particularly dangerous situation, so that would carry over here into Brown County most likely as we continue to monitor that tornado warning as it moves off towards the east, and that's really the only tornado warning that we have out there as of right now. Is this one down to the south. Of course, the tornado watch here will go until 9 o'clock. They did add some counties here up into the Indianapolis metro area under that watch. But as of right now, Kyle, our focus continues to be on that tornado warning to the south. And there is one thunderstorm warning still here in Marion County, but that's likely going to get dropped here very quickly. And at that point, we'll just be left with that tornado warning there across the Brown County, Bartholomew, and Johnson County area.
Yeah, Todd. So that Marion County warning there, that's going to be dropping off here in the next minute around 7:30. But then, of course, we continue with that tornado warning to the south. Want to take you back to about 6 o'clock this evening. This is some video we got in from the Carlisle area. So this is south of Sullivan, and you can see there widespread area of rotation. Looks like large tornado possibly. This here can't tell for anything being in contact with the ground. You can see that edge of the trees, but it does look like the lowering of the clouds there. And then we go back to this video. I'm just going to get a little closer to the monitor here. You've got something between, the camera and that storm, but definitely looks like, if not in touch with the ground, very close there. So again, that was around 6 o'clock this evening as that storm moved through Sullivan, and that's the same storm that we have been tracking moving through the Bloomington area now into Brown County. We'll take you back to the warnings and show you what we still have, and that is that tornado warning here for you now east of Bloomington. Does encompass pretty much all of Brown County and also Bartholomew County here. And this warning is going to continue to run for us until 8 o'clock. So you've got another half hour on that warning here. We'll take you in, show you that thunderstorm warning that expired, but now Hancock County, you are getting in on some heavy rainfall here, some frequent lightning, possibly some small hail. And also, I do want to stop radar here as we're just kind of looking at this signature and just kind of the last scan. Want to look at the velocities here because we kind of see a similar signature that we've seen on some of these southern storms. We've got some areas of green, some areas of blue and red there as well. So we'll have to watch that very closely for some possible rotation. Just kind of keep that in mind. Also seeing a little bit more in the way of some hail with this. As I take that away, one thing Todd and I have been talking about with that southern storm, there's nothing south of it. As we look at this one now moving across portions of extreme southern Hancock County, at least for that possible rotation here, there's nothing immediately south of it in Shelbyville and Shelby County. So that's going to allow that storm to have inflow, that wind coming in here and continuing to circulate. And we're also seeing a little uptick in the lightning there. So of course, we'll continue to watch that one closely. But right now we've got that area of circulation, possible tornado coming down into the Nashville area. And as this storm's been moving, I want to redraw this because I had drawn that one a little bit ago. And we'll take a storm track here and follow that. You can see getting into Columbus here, still about 8 o'clock this evening, and into Hope at about 8:13. Todd was talking about some of the storms back in Illinois earlier. We do have a couple of tornado warnings, so broken line of some thunderstorms back there ahead of the cold front, so we'll continue to watch that one. But Todd, of course, we're focused in on a couple of storms here across central Indiana. Yeah,
we'll definitely keep an eye on those storms. Hopefully they'll be moving into air that's been worked over a little bit, and they'll start to weaken as they make their way into Indiana, and we'll keep an eye on them for you. But our immediate concern right now, again, is down in the Nashville area, and eventually this will push over into Bartholomew County. I know people are joining us here at 7:30, maybe hoping to see your favorite show that comes on at 7:30. So let me just kind of reset the scene for you if you're just joining us at the bottom of the hour. We continue to monitor severe weather moving through the area right now. We have one warning out there, and it's a tornado warning for Brown County as well as Bartholomew County. As Kyle was just mentioning, there is a pretty good cell moving into Hancock County right now. That's shown maybe the potential for rotating a little bit. That would be east of Indianapolis. We've had some very heavy rainfall here in Indianapolis. Let me just take you into some northern communities right now, and we can talk about the potential here of some heavy rainfall for you. You haven't really seen as much in the way of of any severe weather. It was back off to the west, but as far as things are going here, as far as the heavy rainfall goes, you're still dealing with it here in some northern communities, but as we make our way into portions of Hancock County, that's where the heaviest of the rain is. I couldn't quite get it to zoom in there for us, but from Muncie back to Lafayette to Kokomo, even into downtown Indianapolis, north side of Indianapolis, as you work your way up through Williams Creek, the Castleton area back towards Traders Point, some heavier rainfall. But again, it's southern locations here that'll have the best potential for the severe weather as of right now. Obviously, if you're getting the rain and you're hearing thunder and seeing some lightning, do not go outside. But here is the worst of the cell right now, moving through Brown County, Nashville up towards Bean Blossom, Trafalgar, you're just out of the warned area. Columbus, you are in the warned area. Looks like the worst of this may pass just north of Columbus, but I still want you to get down into that safe place. And obviously, with the trajectory of this storm system, it is going to impact US 31. It is going to impact I-69, and that is going to be two roadways that are heavily traveled. So if you know anybody that is out there thinking about getting on the roadways, make sure they do not do that across the area. We heard the chime going off.
Henry County now in the watch.
Okay, they extended the watch a little further to the north, so that's not an additional tornado warning. That is the good news, but we can come into that cell that's here in portions of Hancock County. And we can see the heavy rainfall. We can see definitely the potential for some really heavy rain moving along I-70 through that county. And this is going to continue off into the Newcastle area. Quickly in Indianapolis, you had the thunderstorm warning earlier. You can still see some lightning strikes, but the precipitation is a lot lighter, heavier as you work your way up into Hamilton County as well as the Noblesville area. But again, it's really in southern locations here that we have the potential for the real heavy rainfall and the potential with the rotation within this cell across the area. So right now we'll go back into Brown County. The heaviest of the rain, it looks like it's exiting downtown Nashville. So this would be now pushing into the eastern portion of the county and really sliding into northwestern portions of Bartholomew County. We'll go in once again and kind of see if we can pick out and highlight some of the communities that will be impacted here. Not too many are showing up. We have to get in pretty close. So here's Sweetwater Lake, a very popular spot. Many of you may have some vacation homes there or live there permanently on the lake. So there's Sweetwater Lake. Some very heavy rainfall. You're in the tornado warning. So if you live in this area, you definitely need to be in your safe place. Here's Camp Atterbury, and that is also under the tornado warning. So really, if you're in any of these communities, as you're traveling through the area, you shouldn't be traveling through the area, but if you're in any of those communities, you definitely need to be in your safe spot. Over here in Edinburgh, we're dealing with the heavy rain moving in. You're not quite into the circulation yet with this system, but nonetheless, you'll be up next to potentially have some of that circulation take place. And then there's that warning that just got extended here into portions of Hancock County, and we'll go in a little bit closer and check that out for you. So Hancock County, thunderstorm warning, northern Rush County, southern Henry County, and you notice how that polygon includes I-70. So I-70 really now from Greenfield off to the east, you're definitely going to have the potential for some strong winds. I didn't mention it, and I haven't mentioned it, and I probably should, with that cell that's producing the rotation and potential tornado. There's also been some very large hail. I saw some hail reports out of the Bloomington area of over 1.25 inches. There's also been reports of a lot of power outages in Monroe County, so the newsroom is checking on that for you here. But this is the newest thunderstorm warning that's going to make its way off towards the east. and impact the Newcastle area, northern portions of Rushville as well. And here's the motion of the storms. And you can see how initially we had some clusters of storms here in Illinois. Then the northern ones consolidated into more of a line, and that's when we got the thunderstorm warnings. But notice that cell that went through Sullivan towards the Bloomington area, and now it's the one that we're talking about moving through northern portions of Brown County, heading towards the Edinburgh area and the outlet malls there, and right where 69 or 65 rather and US 31 come together. That storm's kind of been out on its own a little bit as it's been making its way through the area, and so that's why that one has maintained its strength rather than losing its strength. And this storm system, you can see the difference on the south side of this area of rainfall and then that single storm down to the south. So it's on the southern flank here of that storm that we're starting to see some re-intensification because it has some unworked air that is just south of it that's helping to kind of sustain it. And I don't have my tool set up to draw the warm front, but my guess is what's happening is the warm front now is kind of right in this area currently. And so the storm to the south is living in an environment where it can thrive with higher dew points, doesn't have any storms around it kind of stealing its thunder, so to speak, and causing it to weaken. But now this warm front is probably right up in here, and so this cell that's just prompted the thunderstorm warning in Hancock County, that's probably going to intensify a little bit as it moves off to the east as that warm front continues to lift to the north. And so that's kind of the synoptic setup that we have out there right now. But as far as the storm that's the biggest concern for us, it's this one here that's making its way through the Nashville area. It's about cleared Nashville, so that's good news. Eastern Brown County up into now far western sections of Bartholomew County. The potential there for some rotation. We'll put our velocity scope on and see if we can see anything once again as far as rotation. So this area right here, I'm glad I brought that up. So that's pretty good rotation that's taking place right in this area. So there's Nashville, there's Columbus. You can see right there almost on the county line where we have the potential for some rotation to be taking place. And that's why, again, the National Weather Service maintains this tornado warning. This goes on until 8 o'clock here in far eastern locations. So that's, 19 minutes from now. I would guess this is probably going to get extended a little further off towards the east here because, again, it's kind of living in its own environment. And so, again, this area right here, we'll go in a little bit closer for you and we can kind of see if some additional communities come in as far as where we have some rotation. So here's a State Road 46. And, again, this is going to come all the way into the Columbus area. But this area right here, this is where we have the rotation that's taking place. Not a very densely populated area, but it's heading towards one here as you come out of Brown County into portions of Bartholomew County. So Bethany, you definitely need to be in your safe place right now. Here is I-69 as it makes its way through Bartholomew County in the Columbus area. We'll expand out just a tiny bit here and show you Columbus since it's a little more densely populated area. There it is. So if the track holds, this is going to come very close to the north side of Columbus, and that's why you need to be in your safe spot right now in the lowest level of your home. If you don't have a basement, the interior room away from windows is the place you need to be. Downtown Nashville, you're basically almost out of this warning. We'll keep an eye. I really think between Columbus and Edinburgh here, Kyle, is the area we kind of have to focus on for some of this rotation that we can see on our velocity scope here in far eastern portions of Brown County, about to move into Bartholomew County.
Yeah, Todd, it's really been a couple of storms this evening that have produced the severe weather and the reports, and you can see some of those storm reports here for us this evening. Most of it is from hail so far. We've had reports of tornadoes with that storm that tracked through Monroe County. we're waiting to get confirmation from anything that has possibly created some damage in those areas. But you can see some of the large hail reports that we had, even on the southeast side of Indy, had some reports of hail that was nearly an inch in diameter there. As far as what we've got going on right now, those current warnings, we've got the tornado warning, including the Nashville area here, portions of Brown County into Bartholomew County, and then we also have that severe thunderstorm warning in Hancock County. Give you the timing on these, and this is going to run until 8:15 this evening. Could have some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Also could have some large hail in that particular storm. Then as we work our way back toward the tornado warning, that storm, the tornado warning goes for about the next 15 minutes here. We'll see if the National Weather Service ends up extending that one. Take you on a little bit of a radar tour and show you, again, we're still seeing some areas where we could have some rotation on this storm that's near and southeast of Greenfield. And looking at the velocities here, as we've been doing throughout the evening, and you can still see this area that's got some reds, some of those blues and greens here. So we're looking just south of Highway 40 there. You can see Highway 52 just to the south of that area that we're watching as well. We'll look at the hail. Fortunately, not really seeing that pick up on the scope at this point. A little bit of hail that's just under this arrow here, but anything that's showing up of that scale would be about a ½ inch in diameter or less. Had some reports, let's see, Brown County had a 1-inch diameter hail report, and that was near Robertson Road. Let's see, and then Bloomington earlier as the storm moved through had a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust report there with that storm. Take you back down to that storm that now is pushing into eastern portions of Brown County and also into western Bartholomew County here. And we'll go ahead and look at the velocities here again on this. So we're looking at that area of possible rotation, which is still right within kind of this area here. So just crossing over into extreme western portions of Bartholomew County. I'll take that off of there and you can get an idea as we'll track this for you. So what we'll need to do is if I can, I think it's fighting you, Todd. I'm trying to move the camera. Let's see if, okay, there we go. So then if we track this again to the east around 40 miles per hour, give you kind of an update on the timing here. Columbus within the next 10 minutes. There's Hope. There's also Greensburg at around 8:32 this evening. So that's going to continue as it has been. And it's weakened possibly a little bit here over the last half an hour or so. But as we talked about, this could kind of cycle, could strengthen once again. So you still in Columbus area and northern portions of Bartholomew County need to be in that lowest interior level of your home. Continuing to monitor for any updates here. That tornado warning continuing. Latest from the National Weather Service saying that tornado 7 miles west of Columbus. Radar indicated at this point also could have some ping pong ball size hail, so could have some large hail within that storm as well. There's the view into downtown, and things have really calmed down after the storms moved through. We talked about yesterday, we had a record high as we got into the 70s. Temperatures, they're still very mild right now, but you look off to the northwest, you can see the colder air that's going to be sweeping in here, and we're really going to feel that heading into the day on Friday as it stays windy behind this storm. Tomorrow we'll have winds gusting between about 30 and 40 miles per hour, but to get there we've got to deal with these severe storms. And there you can see again, we just did the update on the one moving through Bartholomew County. See if there's any additional updates. Half-inch hail reported in Greenfield as the storms moved through there. But Todd, you can go ahead and take back over here if you want.
Sorry, didn't mean to fight you there on our radar. Right. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, we're using a new tool that we have here for severe weather coverage at WRTV with interactive, so it allows me to kind of stay on the key wall and be on camera with you rather than being off camera. So shoot me a message on my Facebook page and let me know if you like it or not. So as Kyle was just mentioning, we have the tornado warning here that's kind of been going through some cycles here as far as strength goes. We had a confirmed tornado in portions of Monroe County, and now it's just radar indicated as it moves through Bartholomew County. Here's the thunderstorm warning, which is mainly for some wind and potentially some hail moving right along I-70. But I also want to turn your attention to these tornado warnings that we have in southern Illinois. That is exactly where this one originated. That cell came from that exact same location south of Effingham through Sullivan towards Bloomington and Seymour. Hopefully this will continue to weaken. The Weather Service is thinking about maybe extending the tornado watch a little bit longer, at least in southern locations, based upon how these storms behave in Illinois over the next hour or so. So we might not be completely out of the woods but for severe weather, but hopefully we'll at least have the potential here for a little bit of a break to kind of reset, and everybody can kind of get a little bit of a breather. But that's something we'll continue to keep an eye on. So let's go back down here into portions of Bartholomew County, from Columbus now up to Edinburgh, even into the Franklin area. Franklin, Trafalgar, you're not under the tornado warning right now, but still some heavy rainfall, and you're just close enough that I would probably still be in your safe place as of right now. Hope, you'll be up next here as you work your way into the next 15-20 minutes. 8 o'clock is when this warning goes to, so another 10 minutes. So we'll see if the Weather Service continues this off into the Hope area and eventually into Greensburg. I think earlier I said Hope was in Shelby County, northern Bartholomew County, so let me correct myself there. Some rain in Martinsville, that's non-severe. As far as this rain goes in portions of Bartholomew County, it's obviously heavy. It's impacting 65 as well as US 31. And this is the area right here that we have the potential, it looks like, for a little bit of rotation. So there's downtown Columbus. There's the potential for a little bit of that rotation. It's going to come very close to the Columbus area, maybe just passing north of downtown. So be aware of that. If you're in Columbus, it's still be in your safe spot, no doubt about that. And so that's where the potential rotation is a little bit. I'm just going to look at something here real quick, which would be a debris signal, but not a whole lot coming out of that as of right now. So let's go back over to radar. And you can see the real heavy rainfall in the northern part of that county. This is going to again be moving off towards the east. It's starting to pick up speed, so at least that's somewhat good news. Earlier they were only moving at about 25 to 35 miles per hour, up to about 45 miles per hour as of right now. So here's the potential rotation north of Columbus. The heavy rain extends a little further out, so I'm going to go right along the edge of this warning for you, and you can see that this is going to track off towards the east. And even though you're not technically under a tornado warning right now, Nortonburg, Hope, Hartsville, as we work our way into the 8 o'clock hour and then eventually over towards St. Paul, just kind of be on alert if the storm doesn't weaken. Even if we don't have the rotation any longer, it's obviously still going to bring you some really heavy rain, the potential for hail within this cell. As it's made its way through the area, it has produced up to, I think the largest hail I saw was about 1.25 inches, so that's going to put it a little over quarter size hail across the area. But I want to just point out one characteristic here that's changed a little bit, and I'm going to put the map into motion for you, and you can see as we go over the last hour or so, you've been joining us this whole entire time. This storm, when it was in the Bloomington area, area and then even back off to the west, because this is a 1-hour time loop for you. It looked like a ball. It was very symmetrical, which showed it had a lot of strength to it, and it wasn't weakening at all as it made its way through portions of Greene County into Monroe County, even into Brown County. It was kind of maintaining that strength. But now that it's made its way into Bartholomew County, it's starting to make its way into an area, and you can see how it's kind of getting elongated a little bit across the area. We're not dealing with exactly that symmetrical shape, which indicates it's weakening a little bit, and that's exactly hopefully the path that it'll continue to take here as we go over the course of the next hour or so. So as we work our way into the next 15 minutes or so, it's really here now from Taylorsville to Edinburgh that we have the heavy rainfall. Don't see as much in the way of lightning, but this is also the area where we potentially have a little bit of rotation. And you notice this little nodule right here. So just north of Columbus, that's an area here where potentially maybe there's some wind coming in like this and giving us a little nodule there. It's not a classic hook echo shape, but the fact that this storm has been warned here for a while now, over several hours, I think we still need to take the precaution, especially since the tornado warning goes for another 6 minutes until the 8 o'clock hour. But this is the only tornado warning that we have out there as of right now. We do have that one thunderstorm warning that is up into portions of Henry County and also into the northern portion of Rush County. And while I'm expanded out here, you can see those twin tornado warnings that we have now just to the east of Effingham. Again, this has kind of been the path for the storms through Sullivan and then through Bloomington. And now as we make our way into the Columbus area, Lafayette, Crawfordsville, you're pretty much done with the weather. Most of this is just some rain, maybe some lightning and a little bit of hail. But it's, Kyle, this thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado. And we've had the indications there that at least still some rotation in there, keeping that tornado warning in place for another 5 minutes or so. And then we'll see what the Weather Service does.
Yeah, and so just looking at what the Weather Service has been saying, that organization is a little more ragged than it had been. Some signs that possibly we're seeing at least a temporary weakening in that storm. We can take you now to one of the traffic cameras, and I believe this is I-65 near the Edinburgh area in US 31. You can see as we've got still some of those sheets of rain that have been coming down in the area. So still several people out there on the roadways. Again, it's one of those days, and we've been kind of leading up to this, telling you that there was going to be this severe weather threat. So you never want to get trapped out in a severe weather situation. You always want to be in somewhere safe and secure if you can. We'll take it back to the warnings now and show you what we've got. And again, just a couple of thunderstorm warnings that go from eastern portions of Hancock County here into northern portions of Rush County. That's going to go until 8:15. Could have some wind gusts again around 60 miles per hour, possibly some quarter-inch hail or larger. Just had some reports in the Greenfield area of about 3/4-inch diameter hail for us on that particular cell. There's, again, a little closer view for you, and you can see that storm moving into Henry County and the Knightstown area now. Some heavy rainfall on that one. We'll take you and stop the radar loop on that one. Still want to look at the winds inside this storm. Some indications possible rotation. Hasn't been anything strong enough that the National Weather Service has kind of pulled the trigger on a tornado warning, but we've got a tornado watch that's out for the area. So just kind of be aware and stay tuned in here to the weather. As far as hail, not seeing too much on that particular storm. But we'll kind of widen out the view here and still put a storm track on this one. About 40 miles per hour again toward the east. So give you an idea of when you can expect some of the stronger storm winds to move in. Knightstown here 8:03. We get into Cambridge City about 8:30 this evening, and you can see Richmond, so getting closer to the state line as we approach around 9 o'clock this evening. There's our tornado warned storm in portions of Bartholomew County. Latest on that one, that thunderstorm still capable of producing a tornado near Columbus. They're moving it east at 40 miles per hour. So that just coming in from the National Weather Service, also saying some half-dollar size hail is going to be possible with that one. So we're talking about portions of I-65 and I-74. As we look at the velocities on this one, and we still see the reds and greens that are coming together, but you notice they're a little more elongated. They're not really tightly wound here, so not as strong of a rotation signature with this storm, but still we could have a tornado that could develop at any time. This is certainly a storm that's had a long history of that as it moved out of the Illinois area and into parts of south central Indiana. Looking at that hail, still could be producing some quarter to half-inch diameter hail, but things, at least for now, a little quieter in downtown Indianapolis. But Todd, we've still got a few of those scattered thunderstorms that we're going to continue to watch here. Yeah, we need to maintain our view on these storms as they make their way off towards the east. You can see that one tornado warning here we've been tracking has now been extended off to the east. It includes portions of Decatur County now, and this goes until 8:15. Little slice of far southern Shelby County involved in this tornado warning. Back off to the west, Nashville, you're dealing with some rain, but the worst of the storm, or the rotating part of that storm, has moved through, and this polygon will drop off here. You'll see it drop off probably in the next 15 seconds as we hit 8 o'clock, and then it will just be the warned storm coming out of the Columbus area now, pushing towards Greensburg, and that is probably our biggest concern. Kyle highlighted that thunderstorm warning that we have moving right along I-70, and then sure enough there, as we expected, 8 o'clock, that warning expired. So this is the only tornado warning that we have out there as of right now. It's capable of producing a tornado, and we talked about how these storms are going through cycles, and so they weaken a little bit potentially across the area, and then they kind of re-strengthen again, especially this one that's kind of sitting out here and thriving on its own. As far as the velocity goes here, which shows us the winds moving in towards the radar and then away from the radar. Here's the potential rotation. Let's come into the Columbus area right now. And as this storm system moves out of Columbus, there's still potentially a little bit of rotation here, especially maybe as you work your way northeast side of Columbus there, over towards the Otter Creek golf course. Potential some rotation there, and definitely something to keep an eye on. And then as you work your way out of Columbus there off into portions of Decatur County, definitely need to keep an eye on the potential there of a possible tornado on the eastern side of Bartholomew County. Here's Jewel Village. Definitely need to be in your safe spot as well. And then as we pan a little bit here potentially to the north, as you work your way into the northern portion of that county, we have the potential again of some rotation taking place. Let me see if I can get back to the home view for us here and kind of reset things for you just a little bit. So you have the cluster of rain that's up here to the north, and on the southern flank there's that thunderstorm warning, but really once you get north of that, we'll show you a little bit here. And once you get north of that into some of your hometowns here, you're dealing with rain in Columbus, up to Marion, back to Anderson, even into Noblesville, Cicero, Tipton, Kokomo, Peru, heading towards Portland, over towards the Winchester area. You'll deal with some rain. The National Weather Service not likely going to extend the tornado watch any further to the north. They're going to keep an eye on southern counties for some additional storms that are back in parts of Illinois that
that we're going to have to keep an eye on. And you can see those just off here. They're kind of approaching the Wabash River once again there west of Sullivan. But hopefully we can get rid of this warning and catch a little bit of a break, and we'll see how those storms develop. But Indianapolis kind of in the clear. We had the heavy rain move through, kind of in and out. That is the good news. But it's just been this one storm that's going to probably at least traverse the entire width of the state from Sullivan, and it'll probably exit the state here as you work your way just north of Brookville. It's weakened a little bit, so that is the good news, at least here as we go forward in this forecast. But obviously, there's still enough there that the Weather Service continues to maintain the tornado warning on this. And it's this area just. And here's the heaviest of the rain approaching the Hope area, but it's really this area north of Columbus that we have the potential kind of on the southern side of this. You don't always look to see where the brightest reds are. That's just the radar returns, so that's the heaviest of the rain. But a lot of time it's on the southern edge of these thunderstorms that you get the best rotation, and I think that's really, as we look at it, making its way through Bartholomew County right now, that's probably the biggest concern. Hope, obviously, you're still under the tornado warning, so definitely need to be aware of that. Let's just go over to our velocity scope here. And we'll take a look at this cell. And again, there is some rotation that's still showing. When we go over the velocity scope, by the way, we're just kind of looking at the winds going to and from the radar site. So as we come into the Columbus area, it's not as well defined as it was earlier by any imagination, but there is still the potential, it looks like, right here in and around the Columbus area, or just north and northeast of it, now that there is a little bit of rotation. Another cell back off to the west, you may get a repeat burst of some heavy rainfall and a little bit of thunder and lightning as this moves back into the Columbus area. But for the most part, you should be pretty much in the clear, I think, for most of the weather in Columbus here very, very shortly. Martinsville here dealing with some really heavy rainfall that goes back up into portions of Johnson County. But it's this storm system that's going to be heading towards the Greensburg area that we continue to monitor for the potential of some rotation across the area. And that's the lone tornado warning that we have in place right now across the area. Obviously, there's some pockets of heavy rainfall that's around. We continue to try to get some damage reports out of Bloomington. We know we've had a lot of hail reports coming out of there, and there's been some power outage reports, but especially when it's dark out, it's hard to see some of the damage. So if you do live in the Bloomington area, back into Bloomfield, into Greene County, and really anywhere, Nashville, where we've had these tornado warnings, don't really get out on the streets and explore. You don't know if any trees are down, any power lines are down. It's hard to see because it's dark out. So leave that to the first responders and the emergency managers in your towns and in your counties to handle. And then obviously tomorrow morning when the sun comes up, you can have a better view of any damage, if any, in some of your neighborhoods. But Columbus, you're dealing with the heaviest of the rain. It's now pushing into southern portions of Shelby County here as we continue to watch this rainfall make its way and the storm system make its way off towards the east here. So again, there's a little bit of rotation here, Kyle, that we'll continue to keep an eye on, but hopefully as we get a little closer here, 9 minutes is when this warning goes to. Hopefully at that point we'll kind of be able to see the Weather Service drop this tornado warning and maybe transition it to a thunderstorm warning. Not a guarantee, because it does look like this storm system is kind of consolidating back into a little more organization here as it moves off to the east.
Yeah, Todd, just checking in here. Get my mic back on. Yeah, just checking in here, and we do have about 1,000 people in the Bloomington area who are without power this evening. So I know crews are going to be working to try and get that back on. But Todd was talking about the difficulty of seeing damage at this point. It's also difficult for spotters to be out there and try and determine if we do have a tornado with that tornado warning. So anytime we have these tornado warnings and the sun has set, you have to kind of take that extra precaution here, because it's more difficult for storm spotters to actually see that area of rotation and possible tornado. The tornado watch here from Indy to the south, that continues for about another hour or so here until about 9 o'clock. We may see especially some southern counties that get extended. We're still waiting on word from the National Weather Service on that one, whether or not that will continue. Talked about earlier, they were going to be looking at some damage in Sullivan County. Did get some confirmation of that in the Paxton area of a building and some property damage there. But here are the warnings that we still have for you here at 8:08, just about 8:08. To turn here, and what we've got, that tornado warning that's going to continue, that runs until 8:30 this evening, so another 22 minutes or so. Bartholomew, extreme Shelby County, and also into Decatur County there. And then we've got the severe thunderstorm warning to the north. That's for Hancock, Henry, and Rush, primarily for some 60-mile-per-hour winds that are going to be possible with that particular storm. You can see from Indy back to the west, things very calm and quiet for us at this point. Looking at this storm that's moving through Knightstown, again bringing in some strong gusty winds. National Weather Service saying that the rotation has been fairly broad within this, so again meaning that not enough rotation being spotted in that to necessarily be concerned overly about a tornado, but you've got a tornado watch that's in effect, so these storms can take on those characteristics really at any time. So we'll stop radar here, looking at the velocities in here once again. And we do still see some of that, but again, it's not tightly wound here. So that's what we're kind of looking at in and around and just east of Knightstown, but really right along Highway 40. Show you a little closer view here. Some of that heaviest rainfall that's coming down in the Spiceland area, and also going to have some gusty winds out ahead of that thunderstorm as it moves through. But Newcastle, kind of the worst of the weather, staying just south of town for you there. But that's going to continue to move along Interstate 70 and areas especially just to the south. Speaking of the south, let's take you back down here to our tornado-warned storm and areas south of Hope. So this is the area still kind of concerned about that possible rotation here. And this is north of Indiana 46. We're also looking at East 25th Street there. So we'll take a look at the velocities here, the winds inside the storm. We're still seeing some of those reds and greens coming together. It's kind of broadened out a little bit and actually could have some more in the way of some straight line damaging winds possibly punching out from this particular storm, or at least at this point. Just kind of get an idea, indicating some of those winds around 40 to 45 miles per hour, but of course that's not down at ground level. So this is going to continue that eastward progression toward Greensburg. So as we track that for you, about 40 miles per hour, give you that idea of getting into areas like Batesville, so kind of getting out of the WRTV area here as we approach 9 o'clock. But this storm has had a tornado warning on it all the way across portions of central Indiana this evening. So that's likely going to carry us toward the state line with Ohio. As we look back to the west, there are a couple of additional tornado warnings here back in Illinois, so we're going to be watching these quite closely. And I change the radar here just a little bit, give us a little different perspective. And again, it's a couple of storms that they've definitely shown some signs of weakening. There you could see that a little bit as they were moving from west to east across Illinois. So that's a good sign for us. Again, one of the things, we're in the month of February here, so the sun has long since set, so that does kind of help us lose some of the fuel from those thunderstorms. Todd, you can go ahead and step back in there if you want, and we'll get you updated on those thunderstorms that we're continuing here across the eastern portion of the state.
Yeah, so as we go forward in the forecast here, likely some of this tornado watch is going to be trimmed back. That is going to be the good news. Unfortunately, the Weather Service is talking about issuing a new tornado watch for a different period of time for these storms that are in Illinois. So the trend, as Kyle was just talking about, is hopefully for those to start to weaken across the area as they make their way into Indiana. But that's something we'll keep an eye on. As far as what's going on right now, we have these two warnings, and I heard the alarm going off there, and we'll check on that. I haven't seen any additional warnings pop up on our map here, but we continue to watch that one here in southern locations as we work our way throughout the course of the next 15 minutes or so. That warning goes until 8:30. Okay, so the alarm you just heard going off, and again, we're getting lots of alarms going off here as they add and drop counties. That was for a thunderstorm warning here for portions of Henry County, and so. Okay, and so as we go here into the next 15 minutes, this is some heavy rain, but the fact that the Weather Service just leaves a thunderstorm warning on it, it kind of makes it look like there's not much in the way of a rotation there, but still, this will impact I-70. There's I-70 right there. A lot of these alarms going off are wind advisories that are coming out on the backside of this storm system as we work our way into tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of wind around, non-thunderstorm related, but here's I-70. This is going to continue to move well off to the east pretty quickly, and hopefully out of Wayne County and eventually into Ohio as we work our way into the course of the next half hour or so. Then we'll take you again down to this tornado warned storm. Quickly before I zoom in there, you can see this is hopefully a good sign that the Weather Service out of Paducah, they are talking, or they have now put a thunderstorm warning up to the Wabash River compared to a tornado warning. So that shows that maybe it's losing a little bit of its punch, and so hopefully that continues so we don't have a round two here in southern portions of the state. But at this point, Kyle, I think you can kind of just turn that chime off for the time being here as all these different advisories and everything come out. But let me take you into southern locations here where we have this tornado warning that is still in place. So it's moved out of the Columbus area. Columbus, you're in the clear. It's moving through northeastern portions of Bartholomew County, about to enter into portions of Decatur County. Now, my hope here is, and I can see we do have another thunderstorm warning in southern Johnson County. I'll show you that in just a second. My hope here is at the bottom of the hour, 8:30, that this tornado warning will drop off, and we don't have to worry about that any longer. But let me take you back here now into Johnson County. Trafalgar to Franklin, you can see the yellow polygon here. That is a thunderstorm warning for you. That is now in place across the area. That will go here for a little while longer. Let me take the radar off and I can show you exactly where the thunderstorm warning is. So it goes until 8:45 on this evening, and that's mainly for hail and wind. So parts of Johnson County, you had a thunderstorm warning in the northern part of the county earlier, so now the southern portion of the county here has a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:45 this evening, and you can see the heavy rainfall here. And this is going to head right towards the Edinburgh area. This will eventually probably cross over I-65 and US 31 in Johnson County. So that's the newest warning we have. Thankfully, it's just a thunderstorm warning. And I can see on Kyle's graphic the tornado watch now until 11 o'clock in some areas. Here's the cell that has the tornado warning on it right now. It's a little more unorganized as of right now. And as we take a look at the velocity scope here, there's still some rotation. As Kyle kind of mentioned earlier, broad rotation, so there's nothing super well defined any longer. And it definitely doesn't look like what we had in the Bloomington area earlier. So that is the good news. With that, hopefully, again, another 13 minutes or so, we can finally stop talking about this cell that we've been talking about since it entered the state over in the Sullivan area. Let me just kind of pan up to the north here for us and kind of show what's going on. Here's that thunderstorm warning that's now been extended into portions of Wayne County for this heavy rainfall, and this essentially is going to move right along I-70. I don't know if we have any traffic cameras along I-70 there as you work your way into southern Henry County that we can pull up. Just let me know in my ear if we do. We can see that heavy rainfall. And then down to the south here in Shelbyville, we have some heavy rain as well, but nothing warned on that. For those of you in northern locations, I know Kyle and I have been talking a lot here throughout the evening, really since our 6 o'clock newscast. You still continue to deal with rain in northern communities, but thankfully you avoided a lot of this potentially severe weather. So we have a thunderstorm warning right now from Newcastle over into portions of the Wayne County area. And then we have a thunderstorm warning that's in place here as you work your way into Johnson County from Franklin to Trafalgar. And then here's our tornado warning. And you can see the heavy rains along the northern part of this polygon. And then on the southern side of that heavy rain shield, this is probably the area where we have the best potential rotation. And you see that the Weather Service there with the update has scaled back the warning, not so much of where it's advancing to, but on the back side of it, it's scaled that warning back just a little bit. So that is the good news. It looks like a heavy downpour just to the east and southeast of downtown Indianapolis. Let's go out right now, take a look at the lack of view right now at I-70 over in the Newcastle area, and you can see the torrential rain coming down. So this is a thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but you can see the semi there put its brakes on, and you can barely see that. So it's certainly not advisable to be on the roadways. There's plenty of exits here along I-70 that you can get off and just kind of wait for this thunderstorm warning to go through. Obviously, if it was a tornado warning, you shouldn't be in your car anyway. But really, really heavy rainfall right now coming down there in the Newcastle area. And this is going to continue to move off to the east. So if you know anybody that's out there on the roadways traveling east towards Richmond, tell them to get off the roadways. Give them a call. Eventually, as you work your way westward towards Indianapolis, you'll get out of that heavier rainfall. But definitely something not to be on the roads with at all here as we work our way throughout the course of the next half hour. Now, from Indianapolis back off to the west, it's pretty quiet right now. We'll continue again to monitor those storms that are in Illinois. Thankfully, if you're just joining us, you notice it transitions from a red polygon to a yellow polygon. That's a tornado warning to a thunderstorm warning. And the fact that they didn't extend the tornado warning is a good sign, because we don't need round 2 in Sullivan and portions of the Bloomfield area. But we continue to deal with 2 thunderstorm warnings, Kyle, and then that 1 tornado warning that's still kind of approaching the Greensburg area right now.
Yeah, Todd. So we've got that one area that's exiting the state across the eastern portion of Indiana, and we've still got those storms you were talking about in Illinois that we'll have to keep an eye on. That's why there's been an extension in time here with this tornado watch. It was set to expire at 9 p.m. Now it's going to run until 11 o'clock tonight. And you can see that's from around Rockville through Indianapolis, right on into Henry County there, and areas to the south. Here's a look at the warnings that we have that are in effect right now. A couple of thunderstorm warnings, but also we still have that tornado warning that continues here across portions of Decatur County. And just getting the latest from the Weather Service on that one. That continues here for about the next 8.5 minutes or so until 8:30. That thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 10 miles southwest of Greensburg. They're tracking it east, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So this is some radar indicated rotation with this one. At this point, don't have any confirmation of a tornado, but it still had some areas of rotation that have been showing up there on radar. So that's why the tornado warning continues for you. Then we've got the severe thunderstorm warning here, portions of Johnson County. That's until 8:45. Primary threat here going to be some gusty winds. You could also have some small hail in that one. And then looks like we just had an extension on that warning, but in Decatur County, but instead of a tornado warning, it is a severe thunderstorm warning. So that is a good sign here. It looks like as we reach 8:30, unless things change with this storm, that tornado warning will be allowed to expire, and it's a severe thunderstorm warning for the rest of the county. But here are the strong to severe storms we've got in and around the Newcastle area. You can see Hagerstown, you're under that severe thunderstorm warning at this point, includes Cambridge City as well. This is moving near and just north of Interstate 70 with that possibility of some 60-mile-per-hour winds here as it moves eastward. We'll take a little bit more of a broad brush with this one, drive it to the east. And of course, that's going to put it over into portions of Ohio, but Moreland here as we get to 8:30, you're kind of on the northern edge of the strongest of the storms, and then Hagerstown as we get to 8:34 this evening. Outside of that, and it does look like that storm has been showing some additional signs of weakening, and that's been the overall trend with these storms. That's great to see in an evening that's brought certainly the threat of severe weather, and we've had some additional damage reports that have been coming in. It does look like the National Weather Service will expire that tornado warning there for Decatur County as we get to 8:30. But some of the additional damage reports that were coming in here across Monroe County as the storms moved through earlier. Had some reports of trees down in and around the Highland Village Apartments area. Greene County, north of Worthington, had some power poles down there along US 231. So some signs of, at the very least, some wind damage, and no doubt that we'll have the National Weather Service will be out there and doing some storm surveys as we go into the day tomorrow. But there you can see some of the heavier rain that's moving through Hamilton County right now. Nothing severe for you. And then as we work our way back down to the south, again, things going to continue to improve around Trafalgar, but moving southeast there, southeastern portions of Johnson County, where we've got still some of the stronger wind potential as those storms move off to the east. And just getting the latest here, Todd, before we send it back over, some pea-size hail that reported in Henry County.
Yeah, thank you there, Kyle. As we go forward here in this forecast, we're going to return you to programming here shortly. Now that the Weather Service confirms that they're going to drop that tornado warning in Decatur County at the bottom of the hour. They did extend the thunderstorm warning, and we still have additional thunderstorm warnings. But just kind of give you the broad overview of what has happened and what we're expecting to go forward here throughout the overnight hours. So there's still a lot of heavy rainfall here on the eastern side of the state that's going to make its way off into portions of Ohio. We'll watch these storms here in Illinois, and some of them are just now crossing over into portions of Indiana. There's been some tornado warnings on there. They're just extending as thunderstorm warnings right now, but that's something Kyle and I will keep an eye on for the remainder of the evening. If additional tornado warnings are issued, we will cut back into programming and let you know of that. But as far as the warnings that we have out there right now, we'll show you the last view. We have a thunderstorm warning here in southern Johnson County, and that's for some wind and for some hail. Same thing as you work your way along I-70 here from Henry County into Wayne County. Thunderstorm warning for wind and hail. The one lone tornado warning that we do have out there is going to expire here in 4 minutes, and that'll be dropped. The thunderstorm warning, though, does continue into eastern portions of Decatur County as we work our way over the next 15 to 20, 30 30 minutes or so. So as we get ready to leave you here, there is some ongoing severe weather with some thunderstorm warnings that Kyle and I will continue to monitor. We'll continue to update you. Follow each of our Facebook pages. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts, and mine is just Todd Clausen. And of course, you can follow WRTV Facebook page as well. And we'll continue to update you on the potential again of a little bit of severe weather here across the area. But as of right now, that supercell that's been making its way across the area, that has come to an end across central Indiana. And so at this time, we'll return you to programming. But again, if any additional tornado warnings are issued, we will be back with you live on the air. Until then, enjoy the programming and continue to monitor our Facebook pages.